People do this and live lifelong dreams, and they sacrifice their whole life to stay out of trouble, right? To get out of situations like this. And he is like coveting that. He's staying within that mentality. Like, who is he seeking approval from?
Greetings and salutations, and welcome to the Odd Coaches Podcast. I am your host, Dr. Keith Adams, and with me today is my tag team partner, and we're showing Mom's love this week. He is the Sami Zayn to my Kevin Owens, because Mom went to the SmackDown to cheer on her grandson, the icon, the showstopper, the main event, and the reason why we are here, Coach Mike Francis. And Coach, Mom had a good time at the show. If you follow my partner on social media at Coach Franchise, how are you, sir?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. How about you?
Oh man, I'm gonna make it through. We got some things to talk about. So on today's Wind Up Wednesday episode, we're gonna talk about let the court do the talking, breaking down several teams going in different directions. We're gonna have a preview of what's coming up shortly in the and in the NBA week ahead, as well as let's see who can actually make the playoffs when you look at the rankings. But we're going to start off with the Memphis Grizzlies and some poor decision making. Memphis Grizzlies point guard Ja Morant will not play at least the next two games, and that phrase kind of gives me pause after his Instagram live video in which he displayed what appeared to be a gun while at a nightclub early Saturday morning of last week against Tony Dungy's Rules for Athletes, which prompted an NBA investigation. The Grizzlies announced that Morant will be away from the team for at least the next two games. Morant began his Instagram live session at 5:19 a.m. Again, why are we doing something at 5:19 a.m. other than sleeping? But that's another story. The All-Star guard, who was shirtless and rapping along with the music, could be seen holding up a handgun with his left hand. Morant deactivated both his Instagram and Twitter accounts. And he said in a statement, quote, "I'm sorry to my family, teammates, coaches, fans, partners, the city of Memphis, and the entire organization for letting you down." The statement also read, "I'm going to take some time away to get help and work on learning better methods of dealing with stress and my overall well-being." Nike, who has a signature shoe line with Morant, backed the Grizzly Stars in a statement saying, quote, "We appreciate Ja's accountability and that he is taking time to get the help he needs. We support his prioritization of his well-being." Mike, Morant's video came in the wake of a Washington Post story from last week detailing two incidents involving Morant this summer, which resulted in police reports but no arrests. In one incident, a 17-year-old boy alleged that Morant emerged from his house with a gun in his waistband and his hand on the weapon after a fight between the boy and Morant during a pickup basketball game in the Grizzlies point guard's backyard. The other incident was a confrontation with a mall security guard in a parking lot. In addition, Devontae Pack, one of Morant's longtime friends, was banned from the Indiana Pacers facility after an incident because he was seated courtside next to Morant's father, T, who stepped on the court during a verbal altercation with a Pacers player and was escorted out of the seating area. Mike, I will give you the first go around to share your thoughts and let me know what you're thinking about Ja Morant and his decision making right now.
What's my number one rule?
No distractions, sir.
No distractions, man. This is, I don't know why you want to be a thug. People do this and live lifelong dreams, and they sacrifice their whole life to stay out of trouble, right? To get out of situations like this. And he is like coveting that. He's staying within that mentality. Like, who is he seeking approval from? Who is he trying to impress? What is it that he needs in order to understand that he's wasting his God given ability? You
Mm-hmm.
know, I watch $1 Million Worth of Game is one of my favorite podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
And Wallow said, hey, like, I don't mess with nobody, don't mess with me because I'm not a real N-word. Like I'm not, I don't have to prove to you I'm real. Like that's old, that's very young acting, it's immaturity. Like you don't have to prove nothing to nobody. You play the game, you go home, you rest your body, and we look at people like LeBron and Katie and Steph and all them, and you don't see them if they are. You don't see them out in the club late nights. You don't see them hanging around. Like that's some old Allen Iverson kind of stuff
Mm-hmm.
that used to happen. I didn't think current guys were doing that kind of stuff because it's tough now, especially with society and technology. People can find out where you are. You can end up getting robbed like that kid for the Washington Redskins. The kid down in
Philadelphia
DC.
Eagles. Yeah.
Yeah, Eagle, but from Wise High School, and he in an apartment down here in PG County, like, and got held up at gunpoint.
Mm-hmm.
Like we can't be putting ourselves in these situations. I try my best, and dealing with my son, we always, you take pictures, you post the pictures later. Like you don't know what people are doing, and then
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna try to put yourself in that situation by carrying a gun in a nightclub. I mean, Plexico Barris went to prison for this.
Yeah.
Because it went off. What if that would have went off? What if you'd have hurt somebody? What are we? I just don't understand why he's doing this.
Well, as you said, we don't do distractions. So there's two things with me. There's the on the court, there's the off the court. The Memphis Grizzlies on the court lost Brandon Clark for the rest of the year because he suffered an Achilles tear. That's going to hurt the team. They're also going to be without Dylan Brooks because he received his 16th technical foul. Okay, so you got that going on. And then, Mike, I took a look at their roster, and these are not in your notes, so you're going to catch
Yeah,
this. Okay? Their head coach is 38. Their head coach is 38. 17 players are in their organization, including the two-way contracts. And the average age of those players, Mike, 23 and a half years old.
oh
It's
no.
the average age. The average age of their starting lineup is 25. The oldest player on the team is Steven Adams at 29. And they're a young acting organization. I mean, we've had conversations throughout the year about them feeling disrespected and this, that, and the other, and nobody wants us to win. And okay. So now off the court. I talk often in my own life about accountability partners that are peers. My best friend, and I, my best friend's a girl, and that's a weird dynamic anyway. And we had this thing, especially around those young times when we first started getting a little bit of money. And again, John's got more money than we do, but we got our first checks and stuff, and we would call if we were going out. This is where you are, and we would have
Right.
check-ins, and
Exactly.
that's what we would do. And if we were together, if one of us sent something, we would leave without question. If it's time to go, it's time to go, and we'll talk about it later.
Right.
Two of my high school teammates, Mouse and Butch, Riley Ainge and James McAway, very famous for taking care of each other. That doesn't mean we didn't make mistakes. Doesn't mean we didn't get in trouble, but it was limited because I had people in my life, as you did, who were looking out for your better interests.
Mm-hmm.
Gentleman we had on the show, Cliff Warren, is just a little bit older. It's about 5-6 years older than us. And he has always been a big brother to me. And even on the show, when he came to do the Find the Balance interview between segments, he's still dropping advice and knowledge and things like that. Again, we're not talking about our high school coaches or our older mentors who are 20, 30. We're talking about guys around the same age,
Mm-hmm.
been there and done that. And then we get to the Pop situation. his dad's with him, and his dad's like his boy,
Yeah, that's the
and not
problem.
like his dad.
It's the problem.
So, as you say to AJ, as I say to my own son, people who hang out with people with nothing to lose more.
Yep.
And I'm gonna say that again: people who hang out with people with nothing to lose more. So, although John might not hear this, I hope other student athletes do, because who are we trying to impress? You have an opportunity in front of you to do very good. And we're not saying leave and abandon the world or whatever, but there's just some things you just can't do anymore. There's some things that I just can't do anymore. And I'm fortunate to be around people who, yourself included, who know and respect that. So there's going to be some times where I'm just not, I can't go. I'm sorry. And you just won a regional championship. And went right home and did homework.
And went right home and wrote my papers. And not only that, Friday, you saw, like, I'm standing in the hotel lobby Friday, downtown DC at the Marriott. You know, everything is kicking. My son's coming in, you know, his friends are coming in. You know who his friends are? Akin is a lawyer. He runs one of the top law firms in Baltimore. D-Red, who's his friend, D-Red worked on Wall Street, and the company paid him to leave Wall Street to run their branches in California for investments, okay? You also in that? Phil. Phil has his own car dealership, all right? That's his friend has a car dealership. Glenn Clark, who runs Glenn Clark Radio, one of the top radio shows and radio announcers in the Baltimore metropolitan area, right? Dr. Tone runs one of the top mental health programs and physical health. He and his wife both are doctors, right? Well, nobody in there in sweatsuits and not, at least except for me. Well, nobody in there their net worth was less than $1 million. I look at that and say that's the most important part about it. You see what I'm saying? You surrounded by family, and the only other two, the president and the drama club guy at Gonzaga High School where he went to school. Those are the people closest to me. But everybody else, wasn't no thug life going on. They talking about, hey, we going to hang out? No, we're not going to hang out. The guy asked us, concierge, y'all going to hang out? Want me to call y'all call service? No, we're leaving. He's going upstairs. His flight leave at 8:30 in the morning. We'll holler at you.
Yeah.
You know, like.
And again, we're not saying don't go out. We're not saying don't have a good time. I can't raise my child in bubble wrap, and no parent can. But you just need to make sure that the people around you are invested in the totalness of you. And I'm not Dr. Adams without a whole lot of people saying, Keith, you can't do that. Okay. So with that being said, when we get back on the Odd Coaches podcast, we're going to start breaking down some teams as we get closer to the postseason. And again, hey, man, take this pause, sir, and just be better. Just be better. We'll be right back on the Odd Coaches podcast.
There is an old business adage that says, what gets measured and monitored gets done. It is also fact that deadlines spur action. That is what the CKA Save Project's academic monitoring service can do for student athletes. Measure and monitor their academic progress to improve their grades. Our academic monitoring services provide ongoing academic support for student athletes for a designated period of time. Our academic success coaches work with student athletes on time management and organizational skills, along with improving their ability to self-advocate. Every few weeks, our academic success coaches meet with student athletes to assess their academic progress, as well as provide ongoing academic advising. If needed, student athletes have access to CKA Learning Specialists who provide virtual core subject academic support for student athletes. For more information, visit us on the web at www.ckasaveproject.org or schedule a free virtual consultation with Dr. Keith Adams by email at cka@ckasaveproject.org.
Welcome back to the Odd Coaches podcast. In segment 2, we're going to get back on the court. Okay, we're going to get back on the court and let the court do the talking, as I like to say. So, Mike, I got a chance to watch the Phoenix Suns, like watch them. And here's some of the notes that I took. And I'm so looking forward to having this conversation with you. So Kevin Durant played stretches with 4 bench players. So they always had a scorer on the floor. He played in like 4 6-minute shifts. and then closed, the game as a part of his minutes restriction, which I just think is smart anyway. Um, Booker gets to go to work. So previously, before Kevin Durant, and I'm talking basketball, folks, Booker would get the best defender on the other person's team because he's the best player. Now you can't do that because you got to put that on KD, and he's a 7-foot monster. So now Booker has a secondary dude on him, but he a primary guy. Now here's the problem that I'm having though. Can DeAndre Ayton maintain double doubles? And Chris Paul is having a bad shooting season. He is. I mean, let's go for real.
He ain't got to no more.
But Mike, you got to go shot for shot with them dudes, and that's gonna be tough. So you've had a chance to peek at them. I don't know how much you've watched them.
Oh yeah.
But, and they don't get to the line that much because they making shots.
Yeah, exactly.
So that might come back and haunt them. But what are you thinking about the Phoenix Suns, sir?
Man, I'm thinking I saw when they took KD had the ball on the left wing ISO. Somebody sagged. He threw it to Chris Paul, and you got Booker in the corner on the weak side of KD. So it didn't even last in his hands for like 2 seconds. He kicked it to the corner. Ayton is screening. 3. He gonna kill him. What are you gonna do?
You
gonna
go
try
shot
to get over
shot.
top, and then they ran it to where they reversed the ball, got a down screen, Ayton down screen for KD. KD curling to the ball. When he catch it, now both defenders on him. He just taps it, Ayton, dunk. Like, how do you defend that? Like, they're dangerous. They're dangerous.
They're dangerous. They're dangerous.
And then you come off the bench with a couple guys that really, really gonna play. Like, they got some guys that can really get it done. It's gonna free everybody else up, man. It's gonna make, and it's raise the level of play because Booker ain't trying. Booker like trying to show, hey, this is my team.
And the thing that, and we'll talk about in segment 3 when we get to the standings. We're going to start looking at who they could potentially play, how high they could potentially get, and who they could potentially play. Because right now they're winning games as they're figuring it out, and that's very, very scary.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to tell you who I'm not scared of, and they're in the notes, sir. The Los Angeles Lakers. I'm not scared of them right now. LeBron James is expected to be reevaluated in 3 weeks after the team announced that he had a tendon injury in his right foot at 38. Lakers have a 6-10 record without LeBron this season. And now you really have to depend on Anthony Davis and D'Angelo Russell.
That's it.
You got it. Let me say it again to my Lakers fan.
We did.
You've got to depend for the next 3 weeks on Anthony Davis and D'Angelo Russell. Can you get into 7-10 to even get into the postseason, which LeBron didn't even like the play-in game, and now that's the only way I think you guys can get in. What are you thinking about?
I'm not paying attention. Yeah, man, the Lakers ain't gonna make the playoffs, man.
Okay.
Unfortunately, LeBron hurt. I understand that. He is.
He's breaking down, man.
He is. That's
He's
all this
breaking
is
down.
going on now. His age is, a little long in the tooth. We know that. That's what 20 years will do to you. But I'm more concerned about the moves that, Mastermind Pelinka supposedly, you know what I mean? That's what I'm worried about. Pelinka didn't do a good job of surrounding LeBron to begin with.
How's Rui Hachimura playing? How's that guy playing? I don't know if that was the pickup.
First of all, the entire thing went bad when you bought Westbrook. Is not no. That's not. That was never the answer. Not to get back to where you need to be.
No.
And neither was Schrader. Like they let Rondo go. Shit been downhill ever since.
Yeah.
The wheels are coming off. The wheels coming off that joint.
So I'm looking at they had a recent game against the Timberwolves. And Rui Hachimura played 22 minutes, 2 for 9, 0 for 2 from 3, 6 points. They played Anthony Davis, Jay Vanderbilt. I think this is Troy Brown Jr., Dennis Schroeder, and is this Malik Beasley? Because it can't be Michael Beasley. I mean, it's Malik Beasley.
I'll take Michael Beasley right now.
And Anthony Davis.
You ain't gonna push me around. I take Mike Beasley in a minute.
Anthony Davis had 38. Malik Beasley had 15. Schroeder was 3 for 13 from the field, 0 for 4 from 3. Troy Brown had 8 points. I mean, and somebody Walker the fourth had 10. Yeah, that's not gonna win a lot of ball games, man. That's not gonna win a lot of ball games.
Somebody Walker the fourth.
I don't know.
Yo, stop, man. Stop.
All right, so out of respect to his family, it might be Lonnie. It's Lonnie Walker the fourth. There we go. All right, so it's Lonnie.
Man,
that's where we are now. I'm digging and I'm clicking buttons to make sure I get names right. So
it's gonna be a problem, man.
It's gonna be a
Phoenix gonna be a problem, man. I ain't even talking about Lakers no more. Phoenix gonna be a problem.
All right. We're gonna go to Brooklyn now.
Yes, next topic.
Jock Vaughn can coach.
Are we still
okay? Jock Vaughn can coach.
They still playing basketball in Brooklyn?
The Nets was down 28 against the Celtics and won with that lineup. So don't let the Nets in the playoffs because Jock Vaughn gonna have them play.
Come on, man, stop.
I'm telling you, they're gonna hurt somebody's feelings, man. They're gonna hurt somebody's feelings. We'll get to where they are in the standings in the next segment, but don't count out Brooklyn to win in the first round. Now, again, notice I'm saying in the first round. Okay, I didn't say they were gonna do anything, but it's still we'll get there through. Clippers. Now, Mike, last week when you weren't here, I got to say a couple of things. And tomorrow you'll hear fans might get back at me for talking about quad ones and twos. But I got to talk about the Clippers and Will Cotton and Robert Abdi were even less impressed with the Clippers than you were. So when I said the Clippers might be a problem, they both deadpanned me very similar to what you did.
Yeah.
I don't know if the Clippers are going to be a problem because
the Clippers already was a problem, and they just have problems. They ain't a problem. They have problems.
Ty Lue's not happy. Sometimes Kawhi doesn't play. Really? And after signing Russell Westbrook, they lost 4 consecutive games. So we might have to, as we like to say in the school system, put a pin in that discussion until later. So I'm going to move on to Golden State. Steph Curry's coming back.
Applesauce.
They're veterans. They're veterans. They Klay Thompson. They got Andrew Wiggins. They got Draymond Green. They got Kevon Looney. They've all played together. Only his Denver starting lineup have played more minutes together. So do you think Golden State's going to be a problem in the postseason?
If everybody's healthy, they're going to be in it. It's going to be tough to beat. You got to knock them out. It's going to be really tough. Like they are oof. They're a very veteran team, proven team. Just tough to defeat. They win. They do what they have to do to win. And that's going to be the biggest thing about it. They got a lot of guys who are positionless players, and they can give you problems all the way across, starting with Draymond Green.
Okay. All right, final team that we're going to talk about this week, fans. Dallas Mavericks. Told you I'd pay attention to them. Mavericks blew a 27-point lead at home to the Lakers, and after building a 25-point lead, they watched the Sixers bench bring it down to 4. Both Luka and Kyrie can put points up. My goodness. But since acquiring Kyrie Irving at the time of this taping, they're 2-3 because they can't stop anybody. And the postseason is all about possession. So you can't give up 123 a night in the regular season.
God. That's a lot.
So they're scoring 127, giving up 123. That's not a formula
No,
for
it's
the
not.
postseason, Mike.
And that's
It's
why you
not.
2-5 or something, right? Sorry.
So do you think that Dallas can put it together in the postseason, or what are we doing, man?
I don't think they'll be able to defend anybody out west. They got matchup problems everywhere. I mean, who knows what Kyrie's gonna do? Who knows? Like Luka ain't guarding nobody. Can we get that out the way? He ain't guarding nobody. I think the worst thing they ever did was trade Porzingis, right?
Not that the unicorns guarding anybody down the street at Capital One Arena.
But still, he gave you an offensive threat too, though. That's just
Yeah.
to me. Like I can't see how he couldn't have been an offset to Luka. Like what made that happen? Like where did that go wrong? Just my opinion. But yeah, they ain't beating nobody.
All right. So fans, when we get back, we're going to look at the standings and the week ahead in the NBA, and we'll be right back on the Eye Coaches podcast.
They ain't beating nobody.
The reviews are in for Dr. Keith Adams' book, Finding the Balance, My Personal Journey to Academic and Athletic Success. College professor and student athlete academic expert Dr. Lisa Rubin said, "There is nothing out there like this book, so I do hope people will pay attention and give it a read." Former George Mason standout Folarin Campbell said, "Consider this book an opportunity to work directly with Dr. Adams, just like I did. I assure you that there will be something you can take away that will be useful to you throughout your personal journey." Ryan Waite, a recent college graduate who is a software engineer, said, "I like how the book is based on research, which makes it good for general students as well as student athletes." The book serves as both a memoir to Dr. Adams' 30-year academic and athletic career, as well as an instructional guide to assist student athletes, parents, coaches, teachers, and administrators navigate through the challenges of finding a better balance between academic and athletic success. The book includes over 15 personal stories and anecdotes from Dr. Adams, along with numerous former players and colleagues from a variety of sports and endeavors. You can order your copy at www.ckasaveproject.org. From the main page, simply click CKA Save Project Services and order the Find the Balance book. For more information, contact Dr. Keith Adams by email at cka@ckasaveproject.org.
Welcome back to the Eye Coaches podcast. The segment 3 goes to the rankings and really see how this works out. So in the Eastern Conference, top 5 teams, Bucks are number 1 now, not Boston, sir. So even with Giannis out, the Bucks are still winning. And I like to break down those 10 games, sex. 8-2, 9-1, 7-3. They're winning at a higher clip because in the postseason, you got to win 4 out of 7. So they're used to winning, segments and weeks and things like that. So the Bucks are 1, Boston's 2, Philadelphia's 3. I'm going to close out with my thoughts on Philadelphia. The Cavs are 4, and the Knicks are 5. The Nets are 6. And now 7-10. Heat, Hawks, Raptors, Wizards. And the teams to watch, Bucks,
the Wizards still in
and
there.
the Knicks. The Knicks are playing well, man. The Knicks are playing well. What are you thinking about the East, man?
The East is some trash. That's what I'm thinking about the East. The East is
for the 5th week in a row.
They are
Mike just
fucking.
said it's just trash, man.
It's a Wednesday morning. That's what they are.
Okay.
Wednesday morning. I got my trash out on the curb so they can come by and grab it. That's what it is. That's what it. That's it.
So I think Boston or the Bucks and the Celtics, they're going to advance in the first round.
And I don't have any confidence in Boston anymore after watching them. I got confidence in the Bucks, and that's it. I don't have confidence in any other team in the East right now. None.
Okay,
None.
we're going to move to the West. All right.
Thank you.
In the West, Denver is still number 1 with the reigning 2-time MVP, still putting up triple doubles. And yes, I don't care about the triple double either. I'm not going to clown Russell Westbrook and not clown Jokic. Again, they're playing very well. Mike, this makes me mad because Memphis is 2 right now. And instead of focusing on, getting that deep postseason run, we got guns in the video talking trash.
Getting
what do we do?
Turn up.
Okay? Anyway,
Turn it up.
the Kings are third. Mike Brown's coach of the year. I don't care how you do it. The Kings have been a trash organization for a decade, and they're the third seed. Mike Brown's
on
coach
now.
of the year. Congratulations. I can't. It's either him or Jock Vaughn. Okay. Nobody else.
Yeah.
Nobody else.
I'm with you on that.
Phoenix is fourth
I'll take
now.
that.
Phoenix has moved to fourth.
Huh.
And don't let them get to three. Okay? Don't let them get to three, because I'm sure Denver is like, man, can somebody do something? I don't want that smoke. I don't want that. Golden State is fifth. Quietly, even without Steph, they're fifth. The Mavs are sixth, and man, they might be seven. Not the rate they're going. So 7 through 10. Minnesota, Clippers. Sorry about that, fans.
Why you
Utah. How is Utah still winning games and they've got nothing?
Because
they traded away everything.
We know they're the greatest, you know.
And hey, the Pelicans are 10th. And will Zion come back? I don't have 0.5, but you know, teams to watch: Denver and Sacramento.
Where's my bet? How my bet looking?
Your bet's looking really good, man. You are that first round is gonna be on me, because I'm looking at Zion stats. They got this boy listed at 6'6", 284. And he's only played 33 games this season. Wait, I'm sorry. He's only played 29. That boy's killing me, man.
How many games left? 20 what?
I don't know. He ain't playing in them, no.
21 games left. So at most, he's going to get 50.
I'm just trying to get the push, man. I'm
What's
just
my
trying to
bet?
get the push. 45 and below.
So he ain't getting 45.
And the push, because I said 60. So the push is 46. And I'm not thinking, it's not going to work out for me. So anyway, fans, games of the week this week, Friday. The Hawks are playing the Wizards. Quinn Snyder did not take my advice. He took the Atlanta Hawks job. And now we're just rooting for him to just do something.
That's your favorite city, right? That's your favorite city.
Atlanta's a great city, but what's that got to do?
Your favorite sports city.
Them some fair weather people. And on Saturday, Sacramento is playing Phoenix. I do want to watch Sacramento play Phoenix. And finally, for me, fans, I just don't believe in the 76ers. I don't see no winners. I see guys who like playing basketball and what basketball brings them, but what does that have to do with winning a title? I don't see next level sacrifice, Mike. I don't see a guy on their roster that's going to do it. Doc's coaching, and although I love watching Glenn Doc Rivers play, postseason hadn't been his best friend either. The best thing about sports, my friend, is that you have to play and prepare for your opponents. And my questions will be answered, and we will find out. But I just had to close on my end with I'm just not a believer. I don't care they're the third seed. Give me the postseason, and let me see what you really do when we get rid of the bums. And just start going to play. Mike, any final thoughts this week before we close out, sir? But I don't believe in Philadelphia.
I don't either. I agree with you. I think that experiment is over. We need to stop all of that, you know.
James Harden is not getting skinny over top of the screen.
No.
His hands are not coming high. And he ain't chomping the feet.
It's over.
All right. So on behalf of my tag team partner, Coach Mike Francis, I'm Dr. Keith Adams saying thank you for listening and or watching the iCoaches podcast. And we will see you on the sidelines. Until next time, take care. And no, Embiid didn't win in college. Talk to you soon. No winning.
The iCoaches podcast is sponsored by the CKA Save Project. The CKA Save Project is an industry leader in providing student-athlete academic and athletic support. From assessing student-athletes' academic and athletic skills, to measuring and monitoring student-athlete academic progress, to improving student-athlete time management and organizational skills, the CKA Save Project provides wraparound services for student-athletes from middle school through college. For more information, visit us on the web at www.ckasaveproject.org or schedule a free consultation with Dr. Keith Adams by emailing cka@ckasaveproject.org. We hope you enjoyed today's show. The Odd Coaches podcast drops new episodes every Tuesday through Friday on most weeks. Make sure you subscribe to the Odd Coaches podcast on Apple Music, iHeartRadio, Podbean, Spotify, and YouTube. Follow the Odd Coaches podcast on Twitter and Instagram at Odd Coaches. Follow Dr. Adams on Twitter and Instagram at CKA Save Project. In addition, follow Coach Mike Francis on Twitter and Instagram at Coach Franchise, spelled Coach FRANCHIZE. For more information about the CKA Save Project, please visit them on the web at www.ckasaveproject.org. See you next time on the Odd Coaches podcast.